Welcome to the Editor's Note Comics Podcast.
Hail to the guardians of the watchtowers of the East.
Central Maine's best comics podcast, by default.
Maybe it's a sign that you've got an extraordinary destiny.
Here are your hosts, Zach and Jared.
Expecto Patronum!
Welcome back for our last week of Magical November. We never found a name for it. It's too late now because we're done.
We could magically go back in time and solve it. It would be nice if I could find a magic cure for this cold that I've been fighting for a week.
You'll live.
Yeah, well, I'm trying modern pharmaceuticals tonight when I get home from the bride. Although it would have been fun if I had just, chugged some NyQuil before the show.
You can just drink some alcohol. It's fine.
No, we're good.
You could. Oh, good. At least, hey.
Kirby's here tonight, though, so we've got that going for us.
Yeah, he's here to disrupt the show.
Good for him.
I found a less than fantastic beast.
Did you really?
It was a deer.
Oh, I heard about this.
I found him with my car.
Well, I mean, or did he find you?
Oh, he found me. He
So
was
please-
so excited to see me.
He fell down
He
dead.
just jumped out, yeah.
How much damage to the car?
I don't know. It won't be that bad, I don't think. I'll find out.
Oh, okay, so it's not totaled.
The hood's gone, the bumper's gone, one of the panels is gone.
Did you get out and kick the deer afterwards?
I wanted to real bad.
Why didn't you?
Cop showed up.
Oh, what are they going to do, arrest you for kicking a deer?
Yes.
That's not against the law to kick a dead deer. Was it dead at the time, or did the cop have to, shoot it?
Oh, it died.
It died?
Immediately. It's very dead.
Was it a buck or a doe?
I couldn't even tell you.
Did it have horns?
I'm aware of what the difference is.
Okay. I'm just trying to help you out here.
No, I shot him into a ditch. I don't know.
So you didn't go, examine him afterwards?
No, the cop's like, yeah, the deer's dead. I'm like, okay, great.
You didn't want to go see the destroyer of your car?
No.
You didn't want to, impart, the last words this deer ever going to hear me cursing at it?
Because what's that thing when the, knights rush at each other?
Jousting?
Yes, in this game of jousting, I won. I didn't need to look at the loser.
So wait a minute, was the cop, right near you, or did you call the cop after you hit the deer?
I called the cop out. They showed up, while I was on the phone with the police station.
Really?
Yeah.
So, this didn't give you time to investigate while waiting for the cops?
Well, no. Also, I couldn't open my door.
Oh, so...
Because the panel got shoved into it.
So you could not exit your car?
I could through the passenger side.
So, it was a side impact?
Yeah.
So he ran into you?
Yes.
You didn't hit him?
Well, I hit him pretty good, but only by him hitting me.
But
One of us died.
So you're driving, right? Imagine, driving. Did he jump in front of you, or into the side of the car?
He jumped into the side.
Did you take pictures?
Of the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
just in case for the insurance?
yeah, not just in case. You're going to need them for the insurance.
Yeah, they can send a guy.
How far away from home were you?
0.3 of a mile.
Really?
Yeah.
So you could have. So it's that much more frustrating and that much more anger-inducing.
What's even weirder? Yeah, because the cop showed up. He's like, well, first he's like, "Is your puppy okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's fine," which I appreciated. But then he's like, "So how are you?" I'm like, "Physically fine, emotionally pissed."
Were you did you have the shakes? Did it scare you?
No, it just pissed me off.
So when it hit the car, whap! You weren't like, "Oh shit."
That's exactly what I was like. I've been in enough surprising incidents in my life that I guarantee I know my last words on this earth will be, "Oh shit."
You
were there when a washer got dropped on my head.
That's true. And you were like,
it had a flight of stairs.
The way you said it when it happened, you're like, "Oh shit." Just not with any emotion, just this is how it ends.
That's how I'll die.
Is there no better expression though of dismay, or when something happens unexpected?
You know what's crazy though is I was driving.
You hit a deer.
Well, I was driving the next night, and there was another dead deer literally within 10 feet of where I hit mine.
It's Romeo and Juliet.
They were pulling it out by the legs, which was funny. But I'm so this is either a deer path or a deer suicide cult.
Wow.
But that was the thing that happened.
Well, good for you.
A deer is dead. That's all my personal news.
I'm still finding this cold. I think it's worse than it was last week. And my voice is it sounds like a sad teenager who's learning how to have a deep voice for the first time. I don't know any other way to describe it. It's kind of...
Stop being such a Millhouse.
Oh, I don't like you anymore.
My life is defined by Simpsons characters. You are the Millhouse of my life.
I don't want to be the Milhouse. I guess it's better than the Ralph Wiggums of your life.
Let's get into... Hey. Animal warfare. Cut it out. I swear to God, I'll get my car.
Oh, no.
Let's get into the news.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
It's time for the news.
I'll save the big piece of news for the end, even though that's really all I want to talk about.
Yeah, I have a bone to pick with you about that, by the way. I may release it to the public anyway.
My life is a series of blackmail.
It is. It really is. You're going to rethink that Milhouse comment there, Chief?
Never.
Okay. So when
everything's coming up, Jared.
Well, when this mystery tweet comes out later tonight after we've finished recording the show about your thoughts on the Kong trailer, your true thoughts, your real thoughts.
A piece of Tintin art was auctioned in Paris and is sold for a record number.
Really?
1.65 million.
For Tintin?
For Tintin.
Hey, well,
a 1954 piece. He's like at the moon. The French weren't at the moon in 54. This comic is a lie.
I'm sorry.
You should be. But, geez, 1.65 million.
I wish I could make something that was worth 1.65 million.
You can't.
I'm sure I could. What if I came up with, like...
a beloved French character?
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of calling him Tintin, I'll call him...
French House.
French House. Or
Mill French.
Aluminum.
Jeez.
Aluminium. Aluminium.
Now it's not worth 1.64 million.
Oh, come on. It's fantastic.
Emilia Clarke, known for Game of Thrones and for being the worst Sarah Connor,
Really?
has been cast in the Han Solo prequel Solo movie.
Han Solo's solo movie.
Yeah,
There we go. I like it.
that's a prequel.
It's a
But also a
solo
solo movie.
It's a solo movie before time.
Before 4.
Before 4
Solo.
solo.
Yeah, she's going to be the love interest, apparently.
Ooh.
I like her. In Game of Thrones, I like
So
her.
like a pre-Leia interest?
I guess.
Well, Han was still solo
Yes.
in the solo Han Solo movie.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
That's a prequel. But she's been cast in that. I think she's fine. I mean, she was awful in Terminator Genesis, but so was everyone else.
Is that why I was rated so low?
Ugh, I hate that movie. No other movie has made me angry so fast. No, I'm not giving you any credit for that pun.
Come on.
I hated that movie so much. I think more than any movie, maybe ever.
I'm sure I could come up with a couple of movies that you hate more than that.
Gone Fishing. I
Um,
feel like I've already ranted on Gone Fishing.
yes. What about Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore?
Haven't seen it. Can't express anger towards something I haven't seen.
You probably would express anger towards it anyway.
I'm not going to see it.
What about Starship Troopers?
Real dumb.
Would you say worse than Terminator?
No, it's much better.
Much better? Would you sit through the extended cut of Batman v Superman? Or would you watch Terminator?
Batman v Superman.
Terminator's that low on your list?
I really hate that movie. I'm moving on.
Okay.
Han Solo movie, according to Kathleen Kennedy, is going to be like a Western.
Well, that makes sense. He's kind of like the rogue cowboy type character. Anyway, he's the journeyman. He's traveled. He's grizzled.
I hope it's like that
It has the
Western where
blaster.
Clint Eastwood sings.
Did he sing solo?
If I could take privilege away from you, I would. Carrie Fisher has a new book. And we didn't talk about this, but the only thing going on there is it came out that she had an affair with Harrison Ford, and I thought we already all knew that.
Solo.
I don't know why it's like, I thought that was already well documented.
I think it was pretty well known.
So I was like, oh, this is news?
Did Mrs. Ford feel solo after this?
Well, there might have been a prenup, I don't know.
No, probably.
If he was smart.
Because he's on his, is he only one marriage?
I think it's his third.
But it was so long ago, it doesn't matter.
Was it in a galaxy far, far away?
It was in a galaxy far, far away.
California.
See? Yes.
Deadpool 2 is found a director. It's going to be one of the John Wick directors. David Leitch. Litchy. I don't know.
I can't. No.
Which is fine. Did you see John Wick?
No, I did not see John Wick.
It's fine.
That's the one with Keanu Reeves, right?
Yeah, they kill his dog, then he gets real pissed and kills everyone for killing his dog.
Wow, it seems like
That's the entire plot of the movie. Killed my dog, now I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, like, I love my pet. I love my cat. I love my dogs when I've had dogs. I don't think I'd go on like a blind rage and kill a whole bunch of people had somebody killed my dog. I would just want to see justice done upon them. Do you feel like if somebody were to like murder Kirby, would you go on a murderous rampage?
Nah, he's too lovable for anyone to go after him. He's the kind of dog that if someone broke into this house, you'd show them where the wallets are.
Probably. He'd point at the most valuable art.
Speaking of movies, you probably didn't see. You ever see Snowpiercer?
Nope.
Chris Evans eats a baby.
Really?
He talks about it.
Oh.
It was really good. I like that movie a lot.
Do you see the eating of the baby?
No.
Was he hungry? Did he need a snack?
It's a post-apocalyptic world where everyone lives on a train and it just goes around the world.
I'm being eaten by your dog.
Kirby, hey.
He wants my cough drop.
Kirby, stop trying to get high.
Attaboy. Come here.
No, it's a post-apocalyptic movie where the poor live in the back and they have to eat bugs and occasionally babies. And Ed Harris lives in the front.
Where do they get all the babies?
You're a sex ed teacher.
Well, no. I mean, like, are they, like, having babies for the sole purpose of having food?
No, they're...
This sounds like a movie I do not want to see.
It's really good.
Okay, man who likes cannibalistic baby eaters.
No, it's really cool. I mean, as a TV show, I don't know how it's going to work, but yeah, apparently it's going to be on TNT.
Oh, because you can get away with so much on TNT.
Yeah, baby eating.
Oh, boy.
Kathleen Kennedy was talking about the future of the Star Wars movies, and they revealed that the movie that Josh Trank, the director of The Last Fantastic Four, he had been fired from Star Wars, or he had left the project. He was definitely fired. That he was.
I bet he felt so low after getting fired.
I think after he sent out a tweet that ruined his career.
Oh. Is it was it that tweet that kind of like gave away stuff in the movie?
No, he's like, you'll never see, I had a fantastic version of this movie, too bad you'll never see it, and then he deleted it, but, the internet screenshots things.
Yes, it does.
So, rough on him, and now he has no career.
Bon voyage.
He had one good movie and one terrible movie. Originally, he was doing the Boba Fett solo movie, which may or may not be a thing.
Boba Fett Solo, is that like Boba Fett's hyphenated last name? Fett Solo?
No.
Oh, Boba Fett, solo movie.
Solo prequel, or maybe sequel. Maybe he crawls out of that stomach where he isn't digested for 1,000 years.
The Sarlacc.
Yeah.
Call it what it is.
In the extended universe, I guess I don't ever do the extended stuff. Or expanded universe, whatever. I think he ended up in that pit like 3 separate times. Stop going there.
Yeah, why don't you just get the hell off Tatooine?
Just go, leave it. Leave it alone.
Well, he's obviously figured out a way out of the Sarlacc, which is important.
Multiple times. I feel like he needs to stop going there.
I feel like the Sarlacc can't be that bad if you don't like it melted and digested immediately by like Sarlacc stomach acid.
I feel like there's a lot of sand that falls in that hole.
There's a lot of jokes to be made. I'm going to leave it alone.
None of them funny.
I mean, they're not really funny. They're pretty low-hanging fruit.
Parker Posey has been cast in Lost in Space as Dr. Smith.
Really? I haven't heard Parker Posey's name in forever.
As someone who is named after Dr. Zachary Smith, I'm offended it's a woman. I'm not. I don't care.
I'm bringing up a picture of Parker Posey because I'm trying to remember what Parker Posey looks like.
That's fine. Lost in Space is probably going to be terrible, so. Or maybe it'll be good. I don't know. I don't care.
Oh yeah, sorry, because she was in Dazed and Confused.
Where Matt LeBlanc was an action star, and there was a terrible CG monkey.
The Lost in Space movie the first time around?
Yeah, the one that came out in
the
the
that
90s.
Wasn't Alan Rickman in it? No.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman was in it, yes. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Oh, that's right, Parker Posey was in Superman Returns. I forgot all about that.
For some reason.
Probably because it was a forgettable film.
The boring Superman. But we're really here to talk about one thing and one thing only. I guess there's another thing after that, but I care less.
Hitting a deer?
No, we're not here to talk about that. We talked
Han
about
Solo.
that. I mean, we already talked about his affairs. And his movie.
Tintin.
Talked about that.
Trying to think of other things that we...
Muppet Babies is coming back.
All right!
No.
Oh, it's not?
I think it is. I don't know. Did I see that in the news? Maybe.
Don't get my hopes up.
We're going to talk about a monkey.
Ooh, Puzzle?
Look, we can go through monkey names.
Oh, okay.
But we won't.
Donkey Kong.
Magilla the gorilla.
Yes. Magilla. I haven't heard that in a while.
There we go.
Harambe.
No, we hear that too much.
Uh-oh. Do you think Harambe's not dead? Harambe actually just went to play King Kong.
I think it's a dumb piece of internet.
Harambe doesn't think it's a dumb piece of internet. You know why?
I wish it died as fast as that gorilla.
Oh, that's dark.
Yeah, and it's dumb.
You know what's dumb? Shooting an unarmed gorilla.
You know what's dumb? How well he did in the polls.
That's true, he did pretty well.
But we're here to talk about Kong. Well, that's not true. We're here to talk about Kong in the news.
Yes?
Because this week, on Jimmy Kimmel Live, a new Kong trailer dropped. Which was super annoying because they counted it down, and then they were like, oh, by the way, it's not going to be until like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like,
So I have to stay up till later.
Well, I don't have TV, so.
So
I had to wait till the next day, really.
Was that soul crushing?
I survived.
Good for
Somehow.
you. I'm proud of you.
I marched on. Trailer opens up, lets us know that we're in the 1970s. We're listening to a bit of CCR. Because what tells you that more than Creedence Clearwater?
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Not as good as CCR.
Led Zeppelin.
Also could tell you those things.
Rolling Stones.
Well, you could really jump some decades there.
Acid.
No, that's still a thing.
Heroin.
Still a thing.
The Draft.
Not a thing.
Okay, there we go.
But we get to see some of Skull Island. It looks like a skull and an island.
Aptly named.
Not a peninsula.
What about, is it an isthmus?
No. It's an island.
You know what an isthmus is, right?
Not an island.
It's not an island. It's a very narrow strip of land. Like Panama is an isthmus. Is it Skull Plateau?
No. They open up, they say they're trying to map the island through bombing it.
That doesn't seem like a very effective way to map anything.
I looked into this, not a thing.
I would think so, because you're altering the terrain. There's a crater here, there's a crater here. Is it Skull Moonscape?
Well, I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, can there be some kind of mapping through seismic activity?
Not with a bomb.
Yeah, no, nothing. I looked into it.
Oh.
Nope.
You did a lot of research based on this, 2.5-minute trailer?
I did.
You became an expert in many things.
I think that we're going to, in the trailer, I think we see Kong's initial reveal when they do the kind of pan around him and he yells.
Yes.
I think that's the initial reveal. I think it's going to happen when the director came out and said that they're not doing the game of we're going to reveal him later on. We're doing it right up front. I think that's like first reveal, first 20 minutes right there.
Yeah.
Of him taking out some of the helicopters.
Well, I mean, why wait on the reveal now? Because you've already shown him off in the trailer.
I think the big thing we're going to get, I think Sam Jackson's getting eaten again.
All right.
Because he's been eaten by a dinosaur. He's been eaten by a shark. I think he's expanding this into a gorilla.
It's not just a gorilla. It's the king of gorillas.
Well, he's a great
Is he a
ape.
gorilla or is he an ape?
He's a great ape.
Okay, let's call him what he is.
Monkey.
I mean, that's kind of broad.
The connection we know from this trailer going from the Godzilla movie is the company of Monarch is going to be in this movie as well. I assume that's what John Goodman.
John Goodman?
Yeah, that's what John Goodman character is connected with. So he's looking for proof if they want to bring something back. So
I'll tell him where the proof is. You know where the proof is?
Monkey.
In the pudding. I don't know why people would put proof in the pudding. Maybe it's like 80 proof pudding. Now we're talking.
It's a different pudding.
That's a great pudding.
But I think they might be pulling a little bit more from the original Kong story than I thought. They might be talking about trying to remove him from the island.
Ooh. Well, didn't they do that with the Jack Black Kong movie?
They've done that with all of the Kong movies.
Okay, just so like...
But they always... what I always love about that is every time they take Kong off the island, they just like cut away. Like, yeah, we're going to get him to New York. They never explain like how they get him on the boat, off the boat, into a theater.
And into New York.
Yeah. They really just skip over that. Like, we're going to go to New York, boys. And they're like...
A lot of exposition that they could leave just out there.
How do we get about getting him on the boat?
I bet it had a lot to do with we don't know how to film it, so let's
How do we get him into a theater?
We'll build a theater around him. How do we feed him? How do we know what he eats?
Monkey food.
That's a lot of banana.
And people.
That's a lot of people.
We see John C. Reilly is in this movie. Generally speaking, he's not usually in dramatic roles, but I really liked him in Guardians, so he could be good in this.
Well, he was also in Chicago.
Was he? I don't remember.
He was.
I believe you. I'm not going to go back and check.
Okay. You're not going to go stop the show and watch Chicago?
Wasn't planning on it.
I feel like he was in Days of Thunder. That was a dramatic role. He can be a dramatic actor. Don't make me IMDb John C. Reilly.
I don't need to look it up.
I'm going to. Well, keep talking about Kong. I'm just going to...
John C. Reilly was part of the 21st Special Ops, according to his jacket. So it looks like...
Which this incredibly surprised me that you looked up the 21st.
That's kind of the point of the breakdown.
Yes.
So it looks like that he
Have you nothing better to do besides hit deer and break down Kong trailers?
No.
Okay.
So the 21st was redesignated in 1968. This film takes place in 1971, so he likely would have crashed between 1968 and 70. Based on the length of his beard, probably closer to 68.
Oh, he was in Boogie Nights.
It's not. Okay.
Boogie Nights. Gangs of New York. The Aviator. The Lobster. This man has done dramatic films.
Also with John C. Reilly, we see that he is hanging out with some of the natives in what looks like the plane he likely crashed in.
It's a big plane. I'm thinking it's either a plane or it's like some sort of cargo boat. Like a transport ship.
I don't know how a boat would have got that high. In the middle of an island. Let's not do a Lost thing here.
Well, what are you sure it's on up high on the island? Are you sure?
I assume it's within the island because that's definitely when part of the group is
There
separated.
are lots of little coves and inlets. Just saying, could be. Oh, that's a really big airplane for that time period.
It looks like they're treating. They say it like flat out. They're treating Kong as a god. This is similar to some of the prequel material that exists for the 1933 film, both in a novelization and a current comic book series where they literally treat the monkeys as gods.
Well, I mean, this thing is like multiple stories high.
He's very tall.
He's a big guy. He eats humans.
But one of the things that I was curious about, and they kind of confirmed in this trailer, so I guess minor spoiler, but I don't care. He lives.
Kong?
Yeah.
How do you know he lives?
Because they refer to him specifically as Kong being a king, and if he's going to live on until 2020 to fight Godzilla, it'd be weird to have another monkey named King Kong.
Fair enough.
So this Kong will survive, and he'll go to sleep or something.
Maybe they'll cryo-freeze him.
Well, I'm also assuming, based on all the skulls that they show, and that he's a lonely god. This is, I think, going to be the last of his race. It's usually the way it goes within the Kong story. But he'll survive the movie, which is a nice change of pace. He usually falls off a building and dies.
Well, good for him. Maybe he should stop climbing buildings.
Except for that time he fought Godzilla and kicked his ass.
Did he really kick Godzilla's ass?
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla shoots fire out of his mouth.
Yeah, well, King Kong was jacked up in size, and he was originally going to be Frankenstein's monster, and electricity made him stronger.
Did he, swing a building at Godzilla?
Threw some trees at him. Punched him in the face a bunch.
Really? What was Godzilla's reaction? That's a really shitty Godzilla. I can't, my throat, it's gone.
It wasn't a good Godzilla.
No.
We're going to get a bunch of new creatures. Usually in the Kong world, it's just big versions of things we've seen before. Big spiders, big dinosaurs, big monkeys, but they show some kind of unique creatures that are not just things of this world.
The skull crushers?
Crawlers.
Same difference.
But yeah, and I mean, it looks like it's not just going to be aggressive ones. We saw what looked to be herbivores along with weird-ass dinosaurs. Looks like he's going to have a connection with the human characters, as well he should, with Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston.
Good for Kong.
Brie Larson possibly engaged at one point. It looks like she might be wearing a ring around her neck and a necklace, or maybe it's just a necklace.
Put a ring on it.
Well, someone apparently did, and I'm going to guess they died.
Uh-oh.
And we're definitely going to see this group of individuals separated because we see Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston get away from Samuel L. Jackson and John Goodman's character, and that they reunite later with John C. Reilly.
I'm guessing that something happens where part of the group gets split up from the other part of the group, like Jurassic Park.
There might be some kind of monkey and or dinosaur involvement.
Yes. I'm guessing that probably, Samuel L. Jackson's group is, looking around the island for, a way off, or to, find Tom Hiddleston and, what's her face? Brie Larson. And Brie Larson and Tom Hiddleston run into John C. Reilly. That's my guess of how they split, and then they get back together.
Yeah, and then John C. Reilly trims his beard. But that's coming in March. I'm excited for it. Probably my most anticipated film of next year.
I know how excited you are for this film. I may share it with the masses.
You may.
Okay, that sounds like permission to me.
Nope.
You said you may.
It was more of a question. You may? I go up high enough at the end.
It's becoming more of a statement. I may.
I like to keep things mellow, monotone.
I may.
Soothe you into listening so much that it bores you. I'm moving on. That is the end of the news. We're only a few lonely months away until we see Kong again on the big screen. It's been 12 years. Bring him on back.
What would you do if this was a disappointment?
I mean, there's other movies out there, it's fine.
But you love Kong.
Yeah, and if this is bad, that's not going to change how other movies are.
Fair enough. But I know that you've gotten your hopes up a lot for movies recently and only had them crushed. Fox isn't involved, are they?
No.
Is Warner Brothers involved?
No. Legendary has it.
And some Asian publishing house, too.
Yes, the continued trend of having Asian production companies work on big blockbuster movies.
I don't know. I think it may have to do with some of like the post-production stuff, some of the CGI, some of the...
Whatever. If it gets money, it gets money. If the movie's good, the movie's good.
I don't care who makes it.
Yeah, I don't care how you produce it.
As long as it's produced well.
But we're moving on to the topic of this week, the last week of the Magical Mystery Tour that is November, with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I know where!
Spoilers. It's in the case. But it's also not really a spoiler.
It's in the pudding.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret. I'm always angry.
It's time for an Editor's Note podcast review.
As we do with each and every movie, we will talk non-spoilers and then get into spoilers. But really, this is kind of, with the exception of the ending, kind of a hard movie to spoil because not a lot happens.
No, it's
vignettes. They do a thing and then they do another thing. I mean, the trailer tells you right out some fantastic beasts get away. One of them is a platypus. One of them is a rhinoceros, but not those things.
with poison in its horn, Zach.
And
With poison in its horn.
and they have to go play Pokemon and catch them all. And then there's an ending.
In 1920s New York.
Yes.
I
I don't know.
Is Vito Corleone around? Because that would make for a much more interesting 1920s New York movie.
This movie was getting really good reviews, and I was at least on board to see it, but ultimately it didn't do a lot for me. I liked parts of it. The CG is amazing. That's really great.
With some really stunning shots. I mean, it feels like a David Yates Harry Potter movie because, well, David Yates directed it. Like he directed the last 4.
I liked Colin Farrell, which I sometimes I don't. And Bruges is great, but beyond that, flip a coin on him.
Did you like Colin Farrell as Bullseye?
No, that's the worst.
Daredevil.
Where he points, he's like, Bullseye. Like, stop pointing at yourself.
Would you rather watch the Ben Affleck Daredevil or Terminator? The Terminator movie. Not like the 1984 Terminator, but like Rise of the Machines.
Oh, you're talking about Genesis. And
Genesis.
Tough call. They're both awful.
I found the movie. I told you I would.
Most of the cast is good. Eddie Redmayne's the worst.
You don't like Eddie Redmayne.
Stop giving him movies.
Or haircuts. Or no, please, dear God, cut his hair.
No, that was Ezra Miller that had the bad haircut.
Oh, yeah.
The Flash. No, I know he won the Oscar for Theory of Everything, but I think that's only because he stopped talking by the end of that movie.
Oh, come on. That's a poor Stephen Hawking joke. That's a poor Stephen Hawking joke.
But he's the worst. He just, and I'm not the first one to point this out. I'm sure I won't be the last. It's Doctor Who. He's a British guy with a bow tie and a magic stick, and he travels with a thing that's bigger on the inside. He's Matt Smith, Doctor Who.
After seeing it and rereading some stuff on it, it was. I don't know if it was worth the money.
This movie's a title. There was a title, and they did a thing. It didn't need to happen.
I think, like, for young kids, they'll eat it up and they'll love it.
I don't know. It's really dark. Like, there's...
I don't know. There's some of the CG and the animals.
Yeah, they're like, look at that walking platypus.
Yeah. The Fantastic Beasts.
Look at that fat man that we make fun of his weight for.
See, this is where, like, we talk about on the show sometimes oversaturation. Like, too much of a good thing. We already had 8 Harry Potter movies.
This one I don't think is going to really affect, with the exception of the ending, I don't think this movie is going to affect the rest of these movies. They had a title and they did a thing, and it's not worthwhile.
Yeah.
And I think the main problem with this movie comes down to the writing credits.
Well, J.K. Rowling and
that's it.
Yeah, J.K. Rowling.
And she's a powerhouse, and she's written successful novels and all that, but I think it comes down to no one was there to tell her no.
Like, there's a difference between writing fiction and writing for the screen.
Well, I think she should have probably had like a co-story credit and have someone else script the movie. I just don't think there was anyone there to tell her, like, you know what, this doesn't really work.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really flow.
And she had all these weird, like, the American differences that sound like so crappy, like Nomad versus Muggle.
Yeah, like Muggle sounds cool. Nomad just
like
sounds
to, like,
really abrasive.
Really, like, play up. She's like, dumb American wizarding schools.
I mean, the movie's ultimate purpose is to establish a magical presence in America.
Shut up, lady. We're your market.
Oh, wow. You don't tell J.K. to shut up.
I'll tell her she's a real crap screenwriter.
Fair.
Because I'm sure she's listening.
Yeah, what if she is and she, like, tweets at you? Zach, you pretentious twit.
Is that as British? That's the most British thing you could think
of? At the moment. Oh, by the way, speaking of funny things...
You're a real sod. Talking about this movie and non-spoilers is kind of difficult because there's not a lot that happens. I mean, without spoiling more than what's in the trailers, you know, they have to go get some beasts, and that's kind of all the movie is. They just hop from creature to creature, and sometimes Eddie Redmayne tries to mate with them and just moans on screen, and it's super awkward.
Yes, I mean...
And just rolls around on the ground going like, what are we watching?
That sounds a lot like your Godzilla.
Yeah. But it was my Eddie Redmayne trying to mate with a rhinoceros.
Well, he's calling it and he's soothing it. Because he doesn't want to get the poison horn in his you-know-what.
He's terrible. In the movie's kind of nothing.
It was just
It's okay. It's not...
It was a typical J.K. Rowling story. Something happens, mistakes are made, things are thought to be something that they aren't, and in the end, they figure out everything. And then there's a little twist at the end to, like, hook you for the next one.
Well, that's... Even though they didn't have kids this time, they still had, like, oh, the adult made a mistake this time, and we're still not going to believe him until
the other adults are like, no, the evidence shows clearly that this is not the way it is, when clearly to somebody who's not an idiot or an imbecile, yes, it does.
Yeah, even though it wasn't children doing it, it was still the same thing. Like, we don't believe you until the end. They're like, we were wrong about you all along.
We should have believed you the whole time. But next installment, we're going to discredit you again.
But this was another one of those, I don't know, it's kind of how you want to watch it, and it really depends. This is a movie where this is technically now the first movie chronologically, and it probably will be, I imagine, for all time. They don't explain the rules in this movie. So if you haven't read all the Harry Potter books or watched all the other movies...
You have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, this
is world building.
This is the X-Men Origins Wolverine of Harry Potter movies, where they're like, it's a prequel, but you better have seen the rest of them.
That's a good analogy.
Because we're not explaining this.
That's a good analogy. I like it. I'm on board.
Except Wolverine's far worse. X-Men Origins Wolverine.
X-Men Origins Wolverine or Terminator Genesis. Or... Daredevil.
Daredevil wins, I think.
Really?
Yay, Daredevil.
Is it for the fact that there's Michael Clark Duncan in it and he's kind of badass?
I had to run away from the other
Does it have to do with the Evanescence soundtrack?
Yes. Obviously the best soundtrack. Any new metal soundtrack.
Did you like Evanescence?
Nope.
Oh. You're just saying that to be facetious?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad we've explained it.
Thank you.
Are they still around?
They might be. I'll fact check the show.
I won't.
You never do.
Nope. But that's it. On our patented rating system of see it in theaters, Redbox it, or don't waste your time. Redbox it. It's not the worst. It's not amazing. If you like Harry Potter, you'll probably enjoy it a lot more. If you're new to it, whatever.
Evanescence is still touring.
Oh, good for them.
Yes. Yeah, Redbox it. That's what I would do.
Into spoilers, Ezra Miller, who has a weird, not quite a bowl cut, is a squib like the janitor character. What's his name?
Oh, crap.
Janitor Magoo?
No, it's not Janitor Magoo.
I think that was his name. Magoozle, the janitor.
No. The hell is the janitor's name? The Hogwarts janitor.
Yeah. Colin Farrell thinks that he's a squib like that.
Squib being somebody who used to be magical. And now...
who can't be, like, they have the potential, but they're not.
Yes.
He thinks that the Flash, played by hipster Ezra Miller,
yes,
is super magic. And he's the thing who's been destroying New York. with his super magic because he's this 30-year-old who lives in a boarding home for some reason.
I mean, it's better than being like 30 years old and living at home in your parents' basement.
Well, no, this is worse because the person there whips him with a belt.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, so it makes it far worse.
I don't want any part of that.
I don't know why he's there. Like, why is this 30-year-old still in like this child's boarding home? It's like when George Clooney adopted, or not George Clooney, when Val Kilmer adopted Chris O'Donnell. I'm like, he's in his mid-20s. You can't just adopt him.
August Filch. He's the janitor.
Oh, okay. I prefer Janitor Magoo.
Janitor Magoo. Janitor Stevie Squibbs.
He doesn't... So far, I'm not really impressed by Ezra Miller. He doesn't really do anything. He has a weird haircut, and that's really it. And then he just was taken over by CG.
It's kind of like...
But then they have Colin Farrell's character who... spoilers for... Oh, did I not say we're into spoilers?
We're into spoilers.
We're into spoilers.
By the way, you should know that after the patent review system.
Spoiler noise!
Woo, 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 woo.
It's not a... We have a thing.
Oh.
Look out! There's spoilers ahead!
Not a thing.
Colin Farrell, who I forget his character name, he was really Dumbledore's boyfriend all along.
Yes, Grindelwald.
Yeah. And it turns out he was Johnny Depp all along.
I wonder how much they paid Johnny Depp to be in the 5 seconds he was in the movie.
I think they paid him enough for a haircut and a bleach job, which looks stupid.
Well, he just got them meeting Captain Jack Sparrow again.
Yeah, but I don't know. He looks unhealthy. Like, he's puffy. I don't know if it's just how weird the bleaching looks on him, like the bleached eyebrows and
It might be.
the tweety little mustache.
It could also be like timing wise. Is he just finishing his fight and argument with Dumbledore? Is he hiding from Dumbledore? Because if you are,
I thought you meant with his wife. Like, no, I think that's still ongoing.
No, wow. Because remember he has a falling out with Dumbledore, and it takes a lot out of both of them. They have a big duel. He loses the Elder Wand.
Yeah, what's weird about that, as I always, and not that I know Harry Potter that well, but I kind of interpreted like their falling out to be when they were younger men and Johnny Depp is like in his 50s.
Fair enough.
You can't young him up.
No, you can't.
But it's weird, and I don't really need to see Johnny Depp in more movies.
You don't like Johnny Depp?
What was the last movie you saw Johnny Depp in that you liked? Mordecai?
I didn't see Mordecai. Was that good?
No.
So don't see it?
No, don't.
It was good in Pirates of the Caribbean. Did you ever see him in Secret Window?
Crap movie. Transcendent or whatever, where he's a computer.
What about Blow?
Okay, that was fine, I guess.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Okay, I like that.
See, there you go.
That was in the 90s. That doesn't help.
Maybe that's the last one I watched.
Point being, he hasn't been in anything good in a long time, and...
Willy Wonka?
Why are you mentioning just terrible movies? You know they're bad.
I'm seeing how you react. Edward Scissorhands.
Fine. It's
Sweeney
also
Todd?
the 90s. Crap.
You don't like Sweeney Todd?
Not particularly.
Sleepy Hollow.
I've already mentioned on the show that I hate that movie.
Dark Shadows.
Real crap.
Finding Neverland.
Okay. That's fine.
Donnie Brasco.
Not as good as people say it is.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay, I like that.
There you go. Rango.
Didn't see it.
Me either.
Actually, I'm really sad how many of these I've seen.
Corpse Bride.
Didn't see it.
From Hell.
Real bad.
That was not a really good movie. I've been on the Jack the Ripper walk in London though. That's really kind of neat.
It's based on an Alan Moore book.
I drank beers at the 10 Bells pub. Don Juan DeMarco.
I didn't see it.
He was in Platoon.
Wait, really?
Yes, he was.
Okay, I like that movie. I don't remember him in it.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I have mixed feelings there.
He was in Donald Trump's The Art of the Deal, the movie.
And his first acting role was in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes, it was. All right. Oh, there's our review of Johnny Depp to further fill out and flush out.
He was
Fantastic Beasts.
He was fine in the 90s. Now he's no good.
It's Johnny Depp the Fantastic Beast, and we're telling you where to find him in good movies.
The Case.
The movie Case?
It was always in The Case.
Always The Case.
It's even a weird title, like where to find them, like The Case.
Well, again, Newt Scamander, or,
Thunderlips.
Thunderlips. Well, he's the one who writes the book, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is a textbook at Hogwarts.
Yep. Which is why this is a dumb movie, because they took a title and made a thing.
Well, you know, cash cow, man. Cash cow, it's making money.
There were no cows in this movie. Those weren't Fantastic Beasts.
No, I can tell you where to find them, though.
Those are regular beasts.
Hey, they provide delicious, delicious milk.
Cow juice.
Ooh.
It was unpleasant.
It hurts my throat.
It hurt my soul. But yeah, I don't see how this movie's going to really affect things in the future other than Grindelwald's a bad guy and now we got him in custody.
See, that's my problem with prequels like this, is you're constrained so much by, especially 8 films behind it, you can't really do much to alter the universe.
They're in front of it.
What?
They're in front of it.
8 films that are going to happen after the ones that have already... You know what I mean.
I hope we don't see more of Eddie Redmayne. I hope he's a background character. And it's like, still, if you show me like World War II and how that is mirrored like in the Wizarding world, I'll watch that movie.
Yes.
I'm less excited about watching Johnny Depp in that movie, but whatever.
Maybe that's part of the first big Wizarding war. Well, not really.
We already know that he lives until the end and then dies as an old man in a cell.
Yes, he does. It's also kind of like 50-50 on whether he really dies or not. I mean, he's going to die in prison, but you don't know if he's dead or not at the time.
It's a fine movie. Probably more disappointing than good, but not something that I hated.
I mean, if you're a Harry Potter fan, yeah, you're going to like it. I don't think you're going to hate it.
I didn't hate it. I just, walking out of the movie, I was like, oh, that was 2 hours of my life.
2 hours you're not getting back.
I had a guy walking into the theater, like...
Was he dressed like a wizard?
No, he was like mid-40s. He must have been high. He comes running up. He's like, hey, cuz, you got my tickets? I'm like, what are you... He's like, no, you got the tickets for the show. What are you talking... I'm like, you know what?
Hey, you got the stuff?
Well, I was like, let's see what
you got the thing?
Let's see what you're willing to do in a back alley, and we'll go from there.
Oh, hey, now.
And then he was like, well, I don't know.
Wow. That's a little much.
Well, he kind of left me alone after that.
After you propositioned him?
Yeah, you must.
And see, I'm not going to ask, did you really do that? Because I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. 100%.
What if he took you up on your offer?
I would have declined.
Now that just makes you, I don't know what this, like, what do you call someone that, like, gives you something and takes it back?
A tease.
Okay. Yeah, it just makes you a tease.
Yes, I'm a real public tease. This isn't Hamilton. These aren't hard tickets to get.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're very hard tickets to get. Hamilton.
Well, not Harry Potter.
Yes, no.
But that's the movie. It's fine. It's not great.
Seen better, seen worse.
I'm sure I'll never watch it again.
Attaboy.
Or want to review another one of these movies.
But we're going to have to.
Nope.
Okay, good.
That will wrap up the review. We are moving on to letters to the editors.
Here's your letters to the editors. To submit your questions, email us at editorsnotecomics@gmail.com.
We have, we have 2 questions this week.
Really?
Because I think one of them is going to be real fast.
It's Thanksgiving week. This is my favorite week of the year.
Normally, we only do 1 question per show, but this time, I think we'll sneak in 2.
A holiday special, if you would.
Because one of them is going to be real fast.
Okay.
I imagine. Will you be talking about the series of unfortunate events in an upcoming show? The book series that came out around the similar time as Harry Potter is getting a Netflix series in early January. I read the book series as a kid and loved them. Just curious if you guys have read them, heard of them, seen them. An okay movie came out like 10 plus years ago. Like I said, I love the series growing up, and it'd be awesome to see it getting a great adaptation.
Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events. The movie had Jim Carrey in it.
You read these books?
No.
Nope, me either. We're not doing it.
There it is. That was pretty simple.
Yep.
But I knew what it was, and I knew who was in the movie.
When I read this, I was like, the thing with this show? I spent a lot of like my late teens, early 20s really learning a lot about comic books. This whole show is like, I'm just going to spit out what I know. I'm not going to learn anything new.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna take
You're going to make
the
me do all the
time.
learning?
I'm not taking the time.
Make me do all the learning?
I don't have the time anymore.
Fair enough.
So no.
What's our other question?
We're not doing a series of unfortunate events because we didn't read them, and I'm not going to start now.
Nope. Sorry.
A rejection letter to the editor.
Zing! Still listen to the show. Rate, subscribe, and review.
I thought that was a quickie. Like, nah.
Nah.
A little more direct one. Going off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., my favorite show.
It Michael Corleone's you. Just when you thought you were out, it pulls you back in.
No, it's gonna get canceled this year. It's fine.
No. Godfather 3 or Terminator Genesis?
Only one of them has incest. So I guess the incest.
So Godfather 3 it is.
Yeah.
See, I've been thinking of movies and finding them as they pop up throughout the show.
Question,
That one made you think longer and harder than any of the other ones.
Question about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the dullest show on television.
I'm questioning your manhood that you took less time to decide that you would rather watch Daredevil than Terminator Genesis, but not Godfather 3 over Terminator Genesis.
Dumb movie.
It's better than Daredevil.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough. The question I received, who is Jeffrey Mace? He's on the show as the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they show him as an Inhuman.
Jeffrey Mace is the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's also an Inhuman, Zach, if you weren't aware.
Well, that's just on the show.
Oh.
In the comics, he's...
The new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and an Inhuman.
No.
Is he solo?
He's...
Did he hit a deer with his car?
He might have.
Okay.
He doesn't seem like that good of a guy. This character, also known as the Patriot, debuted in the Human Torch in 1941 under Timely Comics before it became Marvel. And the only reason this character has any actual history behind him is because he is known as the third Captain America.
Makes sense. The Patriot.
Well, not because they had a passing of the torch with now you're Captain America. They were there's a bunch of post World War II Captain America stories, and then they were like, he's been frozen since World War II, and they're like,
Yeah.
That was
Oops.
that was a different guy.
Yeah. So we lied about who he was.
It was someone else just stepped into the mantle.
Yeah.
So they just retconned him. Going from Captain America 59 to 75 counts as Jeffrey Mace's time. He doesn't have any powers. He's just kind of an athletic guy.
Were they calling him
World War
Steve
II?
Rogers at the time?
Probably.
Oh, boy.
Steve! He's like, yes.
Jeff!
No.
More accurate.
Steve.
More accurate.
I was Steve all along.
Who the hell told you?
Look at my teenage sidekick. He looks different. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay, Josh.
It's definitely Bucky. Because Bucky was also replaced. Look, it's not good. It doesn't make sense. It was just a way to deal with some retcon issues. That's the only reason. As far as why he's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they picked a name out of a hat.
Hey, how about that guy who thought he was Steve, but his real name is Jeff?
The character doesn't have any powers. He was one of the founders of the Liberty Legion.
Does. You know what his power is? Identity crisis.
Yeah,
he doesn't know who the hell he is.
Identity theft is a serious issue. And then he dies of cancer. So...
Oh, wow.
That's the end of old Jeff.
Steve.
No, Steve was there. He's like, you did me proud, you son of a bitch. You took my name. And then he smothered him with a pillow. And then he came out there and he was like, the cancer got him. Definitely the cancer. But he's one of those old World War II characters. He was popular at the time. But if it wasn't for him being just an excuse to retcon something, it's a name that would have been long forgotten.
Reasonable.
So he's real dumb and worthless, and maybe he'll die of cancer on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, come on, Steve. I mean, Jeff.
That show is a cancer on television.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
Well, no, cancers grow and their ratings drop consistently.
Oh, no.
Take that, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh. Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Let's talk about something cheery.
Yes, we can. Next week, because I couldn't find the Doctor Strange TV movie. I didn't look that hard, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do to finish off Mystical Movember.
You've used about 4 different names that we tossed around for this month.
They're all terrible. Instead of doing that, we're going to keep on the trend of things being fantastic.
Okay.
This was Fantastic Beasts.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah,
I see
we're
now.
there. It's going to be something fantastic.
Delightful December.
Well, December's all going to be holiday, except for Star Wars.
Oh. Well, I mean, December technically starts next week, but the show comes out on the last day of the month, so
yeah.
I get it.
We'll have something fantastic for you. Maybe something that was never released in theaters.
Ooh.
Maybe I've really just basically told you what it is, and there's not a lot of hidden secret anymore.
I can't wait to see this.
I've never seen this. This is going to be interesting. But I guess it's time to plug ourselves.
I wouldn't really phrase it that way.
I would.
Well, it is Thanksgiving week, so Black Friday and Small Business Saturday stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got sales.
Yeah.
I should have thrown that up today. I'll throw it up tomorrow. Yeah, I got sales going on.
Okay.
I forget what they are, but I made them.
That's real helpful for your podcast.
They'll be on the internet. Check the Facebook and the Twitter. Nah. No, I don't, anonymous voice.
The voice of God has entered the house.
Yeah. Check the Facebook, check the Twitter. I have sales going on Friday and Saturday. And that's it. There'll never be a sale again. That's not true. But...
Well, if I want to spend money at your shop on Black Friday or Small Business Saturday, where do I go?
210 Water Street in downtown Hollowell, Maine. You can find me in a tattoo sandwich.
Yes. You can also find him by looking for the signs that berate Pokemon players.
Those aren't mine.
No, I'm just saying those are landmarks.
They are.
There was some guy outside your shop the other day as I was driving by, smoking, and he was on his cell phone. I was hoping he was playing Pokemon Go.
I bet he was.
And smoking outside your store.
Don't appreciate that.
Hey, he's...
It gets in. Dog's back.
Hey,
bud.
Hey.
You're all right.
You can also find Kirby at 210 Water Street in Hollowell.
He's usually there. He's a shop dog. But of course, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please rate, review, and subscribe. And you're on the...
I'm on the Twitter.
The tweetosphere.
The tweetosphere, at Junior Rich, where you get such delightful tweets as questions I get asked by kids. Like, Mr. Richmond, have you ever clogged your friend's toilet?
The answer may surprise you. It probably won't.
I'm not going to answer that. Dark meat or light meat?
I don't like dark meat.
So you're the white meat guy?
Mm-hmm.
Gravy on everything?
Yeah, sure.
Gravy on baked potato or mashed potato?
Either way.
You're really ambivalent towards this.
Potato.
What about here's a real critical question. Cranberry sauce. Jellied in a can or homemade with the berries?
I don't do can.
So you do the homemade with the berries in it?
Yeah.
I don't like the berries.
We'll be back next week for something fantastic.
Stuffing. Stovetop or from inside the bird?
Either way.
Either way.
Look, I'm not cooking, so I can't complain too much.
Do you have a salad with it, or do you just rely on the...
I rely on who's ever making the meal.
Okay, fair enough.
That's who I rely on.
Green bean casserole?
Sounds gross. No,
I don't do that, but some people do. What about like sweet potato casserole or something?
This is the show that never ends.
With like the candied marshmallows on top? Now we're talking.
And now we're not. See you next week.
Eat hearty. Eat well.
Bye, everyone.
Pilgrim's rule.
No, okay. Post about it on Facebook, because it's going to make a difference.
Tweet me your favorite Thanksgiving foods.
We'll see you next week.
Yay!
Hola.
Turkey and football.